The complete works of Swami Vivekananda. Lecture delivered by Swami Vivekananda in Jaffna in 1897, Part 4. Naturally, we come to the idea of God. One thing more about the soul. Those who study the English language are often deluded by the words soul and mind. Our Atman and soul are entirely different things. What we call manas, the mind, the Western people call soul. The West never had the idea of soul until they got it through the Sanskrit philosophy some 20 years ago. The body is here, beyond that is the mind. Yet the mind is not the Atman, it is the fine body, the Suksham Sharira, made of fine particles, which goes from birth to death, and so on. But behind the mind is the Atman, the soul, the self of man. It cannot be translated by the word soul or mind. So we have to use the word Atman, or as the Western philosophers have designated it, by the word self. Whatever word you use, you must keep it clear in your mind that the Atman is separate from the mind as well as from the body, and that this Atman goes through birth and death, accompanied by the mind, the Suksham Sharira. And when the time comes that it has attained to all knowledge and manifested itself into perfection, then this going from birth to death ceases for it. Then it is at liberty either to keep that mind, the Suksham Sharira, or to let it go forever and remain independent and free throughout all eternity. The goal of the soul is freedom. That is the one peculiarity of our religion. We also have heavens and hells too, but these are not infinite, for in the very nature of things they cannot be. If there were any heavens, there would be only the repetitions of this world of ours on a bigger scale, with a little more happiness and a little more enjoyment. But that is all the worse for the soul. There are many of these heavens, persons who do good work here with the thought of reward. When they die, they are born again as gods in one of these heavens, as Indras and others. These gods are the names of certain states. They also have been men, and by good work they have become gods. And those different names that you read of, such as Indra and so on, are not the names of the same person. There will be thousands of Indras. Nahusha was a great king, and when he died, he became Indra. It is a position. One soul becomes high and takes the Indra position and remains in it only for a certain time. He then dies and is born again as man. But the human body is the highest of all. Some of the gods may try to go higher and give up all ideas of enjoyment in heavens. But as in this world, wealth and position and enjoyment delude the vast majority, so do most of the gods become deluded also. And after working out their good deeds, their good karma, they fall down and become human beings again. This earth, therefore, is the Karma Bhumi. It is this earth from which we attain to liberation. So even these heavens are not worth attaining to. What is then worth living? What is then worth having? Mukti, freedom, even in the highest of heavens. Say our scriptures, you are a slave. What matters it if you are a king for 20,000 years? So long as you have a body, so long as you are a slave to happiness. So long as time works on you, space works on you, you are a slave. The idea, therefore, is to be free of external and internal nature. Nature must fall at your feet, and you must trample on it and be free and glorious by going beyond. No more is there life, therefore, more is there death. No more enjoyment, there is no more misery. It is bliss unspeakable, indestructible, beyond everything. What we call happiness and good here are but particles of that eternal bliss. And this eternal bliss is our goal. The soul is also sexless. We cannot say of the Atman being that it is a man or a woman. Sex belongs to the body alone. All such ideas, therefore, as man or woman, are a delusion when spoken with regard to the self, and are only proper when spoken of the body. So are the ideas of ages. It never ages. The ancient one is always the same. But how did it come down to earth? There is but one answer to that in our scriptures. Ignorance is the cause of all this bondage. It is through ignorance that we have become bound. Knowledge will cure it by taking us to another side. How will that knowledge come? Through love, bhakti, by the worship of God, by loving all beings as temples of God. He resides within them. Thus, with that intense love will come knowledge, and ignorance will disappear. The bonds will break and the soul will be free.